essentially in the 2020 elections, it was the largest ever win, right? The Democrats got 80-something million votes, which is, so let's say, even if it was 50-50. So somewhere in the neighborhood of 160 million people. How many people are women and children? I mean, how many people are children? Women can vote. What am I saying? How many people are children, rather?
Oh, geez, I have no idea on the percentage.
Under 18. It's probably in the 30%. So that's a pretty high turnout.
Yes, if that was even
If
the
it
turnout.
was real.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the problem. We have no
Darren,
idea.
that's the problem with the whole cynical game. Because I'm not convinced. You know why I'm not convinced? Because everybody wants me to be convinced. When they like yell at you, if you ask a question, like, hey, what? One of the things that I've always said, and everyone sort of agrees with this. I mean, literally everyone, even people that think that the election was 100% legitimate. The percentage of voter fraud is never zero, correct? And they're always like, yes. No one can say it's zero.
Right.
It's not zero. There's a bunch of slippery people that get arrested on both sides of the aisle. Republicans and Democrats get arrested for election fraud. It's a real crime. The idea that they commit all these other acts of fraud and deception, but when it comes to elections, Brett, that's a sacred institution that we don't violate at any cost.
Yep. Well, and the way they maintain that story is by ruthlessly punishing anybody who questions it, even though questioning it is the obvious thing to do.
Right.
Because for one thing, elections used to be different, as you remember, right? First of all, you used to vote in person, and voting by mail was something you were very reluctant to do because you knew that if your vote got counted, it was going to be very late in the process. It wasn't really going to matter.
It was mostly for soldiers serving overseas.
Right, exactly. It was for people who just simply couldn't vote in person, and it never really mattered except in very rare cases. The disappearance of that and the normalization of voting by mail, the normalization of voting across a period of time so that you're not all voting on the same day, and the absence of exit polls, right? When everybody's voting from home or wherever, you can't detect fraud by virtue of the fact that the count that came in from that precinct didn't match what the exit pollers registered.
Right.
And so, you know, I don't think we are wrong to imagine that we have lost the ability to check whether an election is fair and that that's not an accident. That leaves the possibility open to cheat. And as you point out, they cheat in every other way. Are we supposed to believe that they won't do that because their patriotism is so deep? I don't see any patriotism to them at all.
Well, not only that, they've established this narrative that it's imperative that the Democrats win to save democracy.
Right.
So they've already made all of these statements that it's more important for them to win than anything. More important than anything. More important than having primaries. More important than letting the people decide who the representative is. More important than having like live actual conversations, interviews that aren't edited on CNN. Instead, they have a 40-plus minute one that's edited down to 18 minutes. Like, what?